is moving the shoulder in and closing me off. And that's how we are when we're at our computers. And so then everything gets really tight up here. We want to be wide open. So the arms are out, and inhale our arms up. And then we exhale them down. And again. If you want to practice inhaling through your nose, whenever you breathe through your nose, it's more relaxing. You could also exhale through your nose. That's a little more challenging, especially if we start working hard. But for the stretches, you can work on inhaling through the nose to relax yourself a little bit. Last one. And now let's go into the easy arm circles. And nice and easy. Go a tiny bit higher. We're not going to do great big circles today. We're just going to do the little and medium. Reverse the direction. As I was telling you about breathing, I was trying to breathe through my nose when I was exhaling, but you can't talk and do that at the same time. I discovered that. Little circles. Again, perfect posture. And both shoulders up and both shoulders down for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, and 5, and 4, 3, 2. You wouldn't want to do that all day, would you? If you get a sore neck in a hurry. Rest, ear to your shoulder, other arm gets long, and we're just going to hold that. Other side. Back to center. Looking over your shoulder. And just work on the cervical vertebrae, get them nice and long. And then back to center. Looking over your shoulder in the other direction. Back to center. Do one more time. If I pay it real close attention, I can hear almost a little clicking going on when I do that. So my guess is these cervical vertebrae have a few city miles on them. So when I was younger, I could probably look all the way behind me. Let's look up and feel that nice stretch right in here. You can even open and close your mouth to make those muscles even work a little bit. And pretend you're chewing on something sour. You can look back down. Look down and chew on something sour, getting those cheek muscles. And back to center. Nice and tall. Let's start moving a little bit. Let's do our hip hinge, and we're going to reach forward, and then we're pulling back. So these ab muscles have to contract a little bit. You can push with your feet a tiny bit. Reach. Do not reach without tightening up your muscles as you come back. And bend from the hips, not the waist. For 5, and 4, and 3, 2, and 1. Now let's bring the arms right back down to here, and we'll do the same thing, reaching out, pulling back, and pull your shoulder blades towards each other. So you should feel it in your back, like you're trying to squeeze a pencil between your shoulder blades. 2, and 1. Nice and tall. Let's do our little chicken goalpost peekaboo overhead press routine. We are doing this so that later when we do the weights, we are already warmed up. So that we can do our lateral raises, our flies, our overhead presses, bicep curls, the whole shebang. 2 more. I went by the J today, and they're doing outdoor classes. So that was kind of interesting. They had music going. People were socially distanced. They were easily 8 feet apart. There was quite a crowd, probably 15 people out there doing Amy Hodges' early morning class. I'm not sure if it was a Zumba or just one of the fit classes. Back to center. I'm going to stand up. You stay seated. We're going to make sure we know how to activate those back muscles. So I'm going to turn away from you. And the idea is to pull shoulder blades together and relax. So you're tightening them and relaxing. And you should see the shirt move. Although it's a pretty big shirt, maybe you can't see the shirt move. For 4 and 3 and 2, 1. So whenever we're doing rows or with anything with the bands, make sure those scapula are coming together. The other thing we'll do is a quick core exercise. Pull your stomach in and up, and then back again. 8, 7. And you don't have to hold on to it. I hold on to it so I can actually see that it's going in and up. So my fingers move just like the muscle is moving. For 5 and 4 and 3, 2 and 1. Let's stay seated. We're going to start moving though more. We're going to start with hips out to the side and back for 8, same legs, 7. And we won't cross the midline. We'll cross the midline in a second. 5 and 4, 3, 2, and 1. Other leg for 8 and 7. We're pushing it out and we're pulling it back. Pushing it out, pulling it back. You can add the arm if you want. Don't have to. Last one. And now we're going to cross the midline and we're going to add brain work by tapping the leg. And as we cross the midline, go to the other leg with the tap. And the midline is just, if you split us straight up and down, the midline would be right between. So here is one side, here's the other. Let's do 8 of these. And 7, 6. I think I get a little deeper stretch if I tap my heel instead of the bottom of my foot, but it's up to you. And I am ready to switch. 8, 7, 6, 5. It's a slightly different feel if you tap the whole bottom of your foot on the ground versus tapping the heel. So experiment with that. Couple more. Last one. Rest, rest, rest. Let's do a tiny bit of ankle work. Just lift your leg up. If you want to lean back in your chair for this one, you can. That will support your lower back, but you don't have to. So foot comes up nice and high, pointing and flexing. Circles. Other direction. Side to side. Are we ready for the other foot? I am. So if your back is not supported by the chair, you really want to pull on your stomach and get tall while we're doing this. Otherwise, it'll be hard on the lower back. We're pointing and flexing. 8, 7, and 6, 5, 4, and 3, and 2, and circles. Other direction. And side to side. And rest. Let's do one static stretch of the leg muscles. So extend your legs so your knee, you're almost straight. Heel is on the ground, you're bending forward. You do not need to touch the toe, but you do need to do a hip hinge to get that stretched. If you do this correctly, you'll feel it way up, almost, well, way up in the buttocks area. You'll feel it quite tight, and maybe a little in the calf. Other side, lean, bend at the hip. And the arm is optional. If you want to just do this, it's just as good. The muscle that's tight right now when we're doing this, that's the same muscle that we are stretching towards the end of the class when we put the ball down there. It's the same muscle. You don't need to grab your ball, but we'll do that later. Let's come to our feet. Oh, grab some water. I should have said that before I had you stand up. Remember, during class, ideally, you are at least drinking this much water. Let's go behind our chair. So for the standing stuff, for most of the standing stuff, try to be behind your chair so you can hold on to it for balance. I might sneak ahead of the chair just so it's easier to see my feet. You can add the arm, why not? Let's do 5 more. 5, push and pull, pull, push and pull, push and pull. Building strength in that standing leg for 3, 2, 1. Switch it. Stomach is in, shoulders are back, tall neck out to the side for 8, 7. Push, pull. Guess where we should be doing this if we like water? In a pool, preferably, or a lake. The lake I usually go to swim in, Shady Oak, they have E. coli right now, so swimming is off the table for me out there. Rest, rest, rest. Going forward. We went sideways, we can go forward for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, pushing, pulling. Remember, every movement has a push-pull almost. I think almost every movement. Other leg, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, rest. Let's go backwards behind us with the straight leg. Looks like this. 8, 7, working the glutes. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Other leg. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest. Let's go backwards again, but this time we're going to bend the knee. Instead of a straight leg, it's a bent knee. And let's alternate and add arms. 8 and 7, 6. We do 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and rest. So we went backwards straight, backwards bent. We went forward straight. Let's go forward and to the side with the bent knee. This one kind of does everything in the front. It does a bent knee, a lateral movement, and then we extend the leg coming back down. Let's do 8, 7, 6, push, push, pull, pull. As we go through that motion, we are using different muscles. This is what they call a complex movement, where we're doing a couple different things at the same time. Last one. Other side for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, and 3, 2, 1, and rest. Let's shift to some smaller muscles. So calf raises for 8, we're up on our toes. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And now heel. We are going up on, our toes are coming up in the air. And I like to add the arms to this one. Just feels way more natural than just holding on, right? Just feels like I'm doing something. 5 and 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice and tall. How about a torso rotation? Twisting, rotating the hips and everything else. So you can see standing how much farther we can rotate. So if I could drive standing up, it would be real easy to see all the traffic. If I had a little, you know, how your head can go through the sunroof and drive, then you could really see side to side a lot better. But there's other problems with that. So there's not a perfect way to do things. 3 and 2 and 1. And I'm dying to do some movement. So ideally your movement is behind your chair. So we are doing side to side movement and we're doing arms at the same time. Anytime we add arms, it's going to be harder. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. So we're going laterally with the arms with the bent elbow. What would happen if we didn't go side to side and we just did one leg at a time? It would be a jumping jack. So now it's a little different. We're doing lateral with a straight arm, and we're just doing 1 foot at a time with a toe tap for 8, 7, 6, and 5, 4. If you want to challenge yourself, you can do a little quicker pace. 8, 7, 6. But our bodies seem to get into a certain speed that we prefer. So this would be a little quick for me, and let's circle the arms. Nice and easy. And now let's circle the hips. Big hip circles. And in the other direction. Oh, does that feel good? Let's go laterally with the stretch, with the reach. 8. Now we're up on the toe. I'll move back. Maybe you can't quite see my feet. Oh, you probably can. Reach. And you come up on the toe of that back foot. So same side, reaching, reaching, reaching for 8, 7. Pushing and pulling, pushing and pulling, pushing, pulling. 2 more. 1 more. And rest. Let's tap in front and tap behind just to open up our chest. For 8 and 7. Boy, it's a beautiful day out there today. 6. I think one day I may try to do this class with my phone outside. If the light is just right, we'll try that someday. And you can rest, and let's do another shoulder stretch. I think I'm ready for one. And let's do one more overhead thing, and it's gonna, as you pull down with your arms, you lift up with the leg. So the leg goes right in between the hands. This is more cardio. Again, if you need your chair for balance, just use one hand to hold onto the chair. 8 and 7 and 6, 5 and 4 and 3 and 2, 1, 8 more. 7, 6, stomach is in. 5. Pull those arms down, push them up, pull them down, push them up, pull them down, push them up, pull them down, push them up. 2 more. Last one. Let's have a seat, grab some water. Grab your weights. So just like in SilverSneakers class at the J, you want your equipment right under your chair so you don't trip on it. I have mine just a little off camera because I find I have to move my chair around a little bit for you to see me better, and I'm afraid I'll trip on the ball at some point. Bicep curls for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's rotate a quarter turn and more curls. 7, 6, 5, 4. Stomach is in. 3, 2, 1. If we want to do sideways, it's so here's bicep curls and here's rotator cuff exercise where we go sideways. It's a totally different muscles. This is using your rotator cuff, which are 4 muscles in your shoulders that help you rotate. 3 and 2 and 1. For Pete's sake, that is plenty of those. Let's do our pronator supinator. So flip it another quarter turn, lifting it up and putting it back down. Stay seated. Can you see the different hand position I have? The knuckles are facing up towards the ceiling. 4, 3. Sometimes you might hear this called a reverse bicep, but it really isn't. It's not even the bicep. It's just a different muscle, but it's backwards from the bicep. So sometimes I might call it that just to make it easier to explain. And you can quickly feel that muscle getting fatigued, right? It's this muscle right here. 3, 2, 1, rest. Triceps, completely different, another different muscle. Elbows are in tight, and we just push the weight back. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest. Let's rest the weights on our leg, and we'll lift the leg. So the leg is going to help us get a little rest of our shoulders, and we're also working the hip flexor a little bit. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Other leg. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice and tall. How about tapping forward and tapping behind? 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, and 2, 1. Rest. Both weights in one hand. Just let it hang down, lean away. Stretching here. Switch. Put your weights down for just a second. When I start doing stretching, the little muscles that we don't stretch very much, I'll point them out to you, and then you can do these on your own sometime. So the bicep muscle to be stretched, it's a funny way. Hold your hands straight out, and then turn your thumbs down. And that is hard to believe that will stretch out your biceps. And I like to wiggle the thumb. So the thumb is now pointing almost straight downwards, and I'm wiggling it. And that is giving a little stretch to these bicep muscles. You can also wiggle your fingers while you're at it, and then that would also stretch this muscle. So you can kill 2 birds with 1 stone. And then the tricep stretch is simply, you can just push up on it. The classic one is where your arm goes behind. That is a little hard on the neck for some people. So you can just push up here if you want. And the same with the other side. I may still do this because I'm used to it, and I get a lot of torque, so I can really stretch out this muscle, but you can also just push them here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Go ahead and grab your weights back, and we'll finish the triceps with the overhead tricep extension. One way, you can do 2 weights if you're feeling frisky and you've got maybe 2-pound weights, you could get away with it. If you've got 4-pound weights, I don't know that I would do it. I can do it with 3, but I wouldn't want to do it all day. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, rest. Okay, harder stuff here it comes. Don't say I didn't warn you. Lateral raises for 8. To make it easier, alternate the arms or do it without weights. 6, 5, 4, 3, or do it with a bent elbow. 2, 1, rest. So I gave you a lot of ways to make it easier. You notice I didn't give you any ways to make it hard because it's hard enough on its own. Doing lateral raises with a bent elbow is just hard chicken. These are actually fairly easy to do. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Rest. If you do these regularly, you'll get some nice definition in your shoulders. So we can still, we can't really build muscle like we used to when we were younger, but you can firm up and still get some nice shoulder muscles. Maybe we'll have a, we'll call it Muscle Monday. Next Monday we can wear our sleeveless, where everybody can roll up their sleeves and show their great big shoulders. What are we going to do next? Overhead press. That's a tough one. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest. Nice and tall. Anything else we can do with the weights? Circles. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Other direction for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest for a second. We're going to pour, and as you come down from the pour, you can rest the weight on your leg. If you don't want to take a break, then don't rest the weight. Just keep going for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. This is a compound movement. You wouldn't think so, but your forearms are working and also your shoulders. So 2 or 3 different things are working at the same time. That's why it's harder than it looks. Let's do rows with the hip hinge, reaching out forward. Elbows come back nice and tight for 8, and 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, and 2, and 1. I don't know about you, but I'm about rowed up. We'll do one more. The TV tray, no hip hinge. Flip the weights so the knuckles are facing down and you're reaching out and pulling back. 8, 7. This is really working your core. 6, 5, 4, and 3, 2, 1. We could also do push out and pull back rotation, the boxer's punch. So let's do that, and then we'll move on. For 8, 7, and 6, 5, and 4, and 3, 2, last one. Oh, let's put the weight down. How is everyone doing on their water? I'm on half right now. Let's grab the ball. Nice and tall. Squeeze the ball between your legs for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's do 8 more. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Arm under the shoulder. Squeezing straight in for 8, 7. So Monday is a bad day for my cat. He doesn't like loud noises, and both recycling and garbage are on Mondays here. So his eyes get kind of wide when they roll by. 3, 2, 1. Other leg, other arm. 8, 7, 6, 5. He also doesn't like the vacuum cleaner. So 4, 3, 2, 1. And that worked the chest. The other chest muscle exercise with the ball is this one. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And rest. I don't usually do this one. We can also put the ball down low on our calf and squeeze in. 8, 7, 6. Really pull your stomach in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we also could put the ball on the ground and roll it out so that when our leg is straight, our heel is on the ball for 8, 7, 6, 5. It's just kind of fun to do. 4, 3, and 2, and 1. Go ahead and kick the ball to the other foot. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest. So what our goal for that exercise was to simply straighten the leg and then pull it back in. We could also do that without the ball, and then it would look like this. 8, 7, but much harder, right? 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch the ball to the other hand and just lift the opposite leg for some quad sets. These are called quad sets. 6, 5, it's big muscle here. 4, 3, 2, 1. And I said big muscle. It's actually 4 muscles that make it into one big muscular area. That's why they call it the quad. So what are we doing here? Opposite game. Opposite game. That's why they call it quadricep. 8, 7, 6. And if you put your whole foot down, you'll get maybe a deeper stretch in here. If you just tap your heel, I feel like I can get a longer extension of my leg. And that's really what I want. So I usually tap my heel when we do these. 4, get long, don't be lazy like me. 3, and 2. Last one, and wasn't that fun? Let's do same side. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, and reaching and reaching. So pushing, pulling, pushing, pulling, pushing, pulling, pushing, pulling. 3, and 2, 1. Rest. Scoot forward in the chair, opening up the chest. The ball goes around our back. 8, 7, 6, 5. If this bothers your shoulder, you don't have to go all the way behind. Just go as far as you can. Let's reverse direction. For 8, and 7, 6, and 5, 4, and 3, and 2, 1, and rest. Bend and lift. Pull down. 8, push, pull, push. So this is, again, I've used this term a couple times, a compound movement, meaning we are doing different things during the same exercise, using different muscles and joints. So if we broke this down, anybody getting tired yet? Let's do 5 more. It's a pull, push, pull, push, pull, push, pull, push for 3, 2, 1. That's combining bicep curl and overhead press. Anything else we want to do just for fun? Toss and catch with a clap. Up. 2 claps if you're quick. 3 claps. If you have a high ceiling, you can do 4 maybe. And let's rest. This guy, this is always good for a laugh for me because I usually drop the ball. In reverse directions. So in this direction, I'm great. I don't know why, but then going the other way, it's awkward. So try it switching directions. See if one way is better than the other. And that's enough of that. Now you have my permission to be way back in your chair. If you need to, ball goes under the leg. We're doing our quad sets again. Oh, we didn't do any squats or lunges today, dang it. So twice as many on Wednesday. We'll catch them on Wednesday. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Leg is straight, side to side. So another a couple things happening at once. We're stretching out the hamstrings. We're also working our abductor, adductor muscles, those tiny muscles that let us move from side to side. Push out, pull in for 3 and 2 and 1. Let's do the other leg. Quad sets. And hamstring stretch by also using adductors, abductors. It was always confusing in anatomy class because they sound the same, but one is AD and the other is ADD. So abduct versus adduct. And I'm ready to stretch my back. So lower back and then upper back. So if you have the ball right there and that's the part that's sore, that means you've got to really activate the core during your exercises. Come on down, baby. Yeah. Yeah, it's almost lunchtime, isn't it? The ball is right between you, and you can lift up. It's almost lunchtime. Yeah, we're just stretching out. You should stretch out too. And go ahead and grab your water and grab your stretch band. Here's something, I call it a roller, and this is a nice way to stretch out leg muscles as well. You can use a rolling pin, like when you're making a pie. You want to try this sometime. So under the legs. And to drink your water. Do you want a little of this, buddy? Yeah, you like this. So can you see my cat? He just loves this. He loves to be rolled out just like I do. Yeah. Okay, stretch it. Hands through the handles. Up, pull down, for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. And I see at least one person standing. You can also do all of these things standing. The classic format usually has the weights and stuff seated, but this group, I know this group pretty well, and some of them could certainly do it standing. 8, 7, we're going sideways, pulling, pull. So the stretch bands are the one piece of equipment where the push-pull analogy kind of breaks down a little bit. You're always pulling, but you're not pushing, you're resisting. So when you pull it, and you can hold it, and then you're not pushing it, but you're resisting the band coming back. So push-pull for everything except for the stretch band. For 3, 2, 1, nice and tall. Let's bend forward and roll, reach and pull back, reach, pull back. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, and 3, 2, and 1. Rest. Go ahead and make the band half as wide, fold it in half, and rotate out to the side. And then pull through these oblique muscles, pulling with the band as you go back and forth. And also pulling with your hand. 3, and 2, and last one. Oh, let's do one more shoulder thing, and then we'll stretch legs. So kayaking. For 8, 7, and 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest. Go ahead and hook the leg out to the side and back. 8, 7, 6, push, pull. When we're using the band to help with an exercise, then we can do the push-pull idea, right? Because the band is not moving, it's just holding our leg up. So push, pull, 3, adductor, abductors, am I right? Last one, other leg. So hopefully most of the class can get outside today, if not all the class, because it's a beauty. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, rest. And they're doing outdoor classes at the J. I think I mentioned that. Inhale the arms up. Exhale. So there's a class schedule out there somewhere. And I was just by the J today, and I just saw them outside, and it looks like a lot of fun. They were easily 8 feet apart. And that music going, it was great. And let's do one more, and we will adjourn to go on with our regular lives until Wednesday at 11 o'clock. Thanks so much for coming. I'm going to stop the recording, but I'll leave on the meeting for a couple minutes if you want to say hi or goodbye. Just mute yourselves if you want. Otherwise, we'll see everyone Wednesday.